Well, good afternoon, everybody. Again, Dory Sukup here. I'm so excited that you're with us today. Sad, but it's true. Today is actually our last module. The good news is that you have these on demand on the member page or on the Med Spa Biz University page. So you can go back and review and re-watch and re-implement some things, because as we go on, sometimes we don't remember things as much as we used to, maybe, or you just want a refresher. So it's always good to go back and watch. So today we're doing part 5, module 2, and it's all about how to deliver a great wow experience. So that's like the icing on the cake. It is the last module because it really focuses on what we want our clients to experience when they come to our place, and how can we wow them so they want to come back. So the experience and retention are hand in hand. They go hand in hand. So the better our experience is, the higher your retention rate will be. So that's what we're going to cover today, all the great things that we can do to enhance the experience. So remember, connect with us on YouTube. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, you really should. We would love it if you do. Make sure you ring the bell actually when you go and do that. And when you do that, then you'll be getting notifications whenever we put out actually an email with a new video or just a video right on YouTube. So these are the things that we're going to cover today. So we said about the wow experience. And then I'm going to spend the second half of today on implementation and how important that is, and how you can take all the information that we went over and how can you actually start, if you haven't already. I'm sure many of you actually have, but if you haven't, then you have a whole implementation plan to really help you succeed, or as I like to say it, reach success the fastest way possible. And then again, those of you who have been with us all this time, whether it's live or you're watching it on demand, we actually put a feedback form on the private member page or on Med Spa Biz University. And if you would be so kind, because we always want your feedback, that's very important to us. If you don't mind, if you could click on that link and fill in that little mini evaluation so we know how we can improve. While I'm talking about this, you should be doing exactly the same thing with your clients. I'm sure many of you are already doing that, but in case you're not, it's very important to ask for feedback and to get those reviews and testimonials like what we talked about in the 6 R's a few modules back. And then we also did have a couple more documents that I really need to bring your attention to. And one of them is a press release form, not press release, and video release form. Thank you. I'm thinking marketing already, press releases. We put a form for you to sign. So those of you who do give us a testimonial, again, this is something that you should do with your clients. You should never get a testimonial without approval. So I'm practicing what I'm teaching you, right? And you need to do the same thing. And then the other form we put on there is actually the copyright form. And that's because we gave you a lot of information. We gave you a lot of tools, the PowerPoint slides, we gave you the budget, the compensation model. All those tools are copyrighted. So I just want to make sure that you honor our relationship and that you do not share those with members of your actual facility. So it's very important to us. So if you could please sign that and just acknowledge the fact that everything belongs to Inspiration Management and you have the right to view it, use it in your own facility, but you can't take it to eBay and try to sell it or on Amazon. So those are just a couple of little housekeeping items that I needed to mention before we actually go to the next phase of our relationship together. So, all right, let's start talking about that wow guest experience. It's so hard these days to be impressed when it comes to customer service, isn't it? Do you find that difficult? And that's good news. The good news is It just makes it a lot easier for us to shine. So really shining is a lot easier now because there's so many other people that are doing such a lousy job. So I want to ask you, when was the last time you actually had a wow guest experience? It's rare. It really is. So what we want to do is start looking at your experience with brand new eyes. I want you to walk into your place like you're seeing it for the first time. I want you to call your guest relations team and listen to what that phone call sounds like. So let's really look at everything that we do like we're seeing it for the first time. And believe me, that will make such a big difference, just doing that, because you're gonna notice some things that are not up to par when it comes to that guest experience delivery. So I want you to shine. I want you to make a commitment right now that you want to be the best of the best, that you want to deliver that great wow experience, that you are going to do things within the experience that's going to cause people to say, wow. That's the word, really. That's the word we want to go after, right? So I want you to put everything into the experience. I was mentioning Howard Schultz the other day about Starbucks and how they can get away with charging $6 and $7 or whatever it is now for a cup of coffee. So, again, they do that because of the experience. And if you would have read Howard Schultz's book, Onward, that's exactly what he was talking about in it. As a matter of fact, during many interviews, if you go and watch some documentaries of Howard Schultz, you'll hear him say, "We don't sell coffee at Starbucks." What do you mean you don't sell coffee? He sells experiences. So what do you sell? What are you selling? Are you selling that wow experience? Are you selling the results? Or are you too busy talking about the kind of laser that you have and what it does and this and that, rather than focusing again on the whole emotional side of the experience? So how would you rate your experience? Let's have a little moment of truth. If I was to come to your place and had an experience, will I say wow? Now I know I might be a little pickier than other people, but how many clients walk into your place and as they're leaving saying, wow, this was a great experience? Or remember the question that I taught you? What is the question that your guest relations team member should be asking at the time of the checkout? What should they be asking? Do you remember that?
I do.
How likely are you to recommend us to your circles of friends or colleagues or family members? And when they tell you that, that is half the battle. That is a wow experience if they give you a 5-star, right? Very high likely. So ask yourself that and find out, if you're not right now, if you have not already implemented some kind of a guest review or a guest comment or a guest evaluation that is either mailed, emailed, or done on the spot, then I really want you to. Because if you don't know how good you're doing, then you don't know how to fix it. So that's the first step in delivering that wow experience, is seeing where you really are. And then this brings me back to here. Why would your guests come back? Again, back to the experience. But look at all these words I put in here for you. Are they feeling great about being there? Are they getting a positive experience? Are we connecting with them on an emotional level? That's really where it all goes, in the emotions part. Great results, yes. Are they getting great value? And I don't mean discounts, value. Quality, happiness, convenience, expertise, reputation, like the ambiance, what your place looks like. All those go into effect to the type of experience that we would actually be delivering. So if you're doing all these things and the guest are using these kind of words to describe their experience with you, then that's great. But if your team and you are not stirring up those emotions and making them feel good, then they're not going to be coming back. So how do they come back? By connecting with them, by building that nice, great relationship, by making them feel good. That's why they would come back. And that's when price is no longer an option. Because if we focus on all these things, people are going to fall in love with you. And no matter what price you're charging, they're going to come to you. It does. It works that way. It works that way in everything that we do. People don't want just to be a number. I've been a number as I checked into spas and medical spas. I've been called, oh, it's the lady with the red sweater. Oh, your next patient is here. Your next client is here. Oh, she's over there. It happens. It happens. But if we don't pay attention to it, then it comes back to bite us. And that's when you really start dropping the ball. So we just finished the book Gathering with Think and Grow Rich, talking about emotions. Napoleon Hill in the book talks about negative emotions and positive emotions. Now, I want to focus on the positive emotions here. And when we're talking about delivering a great wow experience, well, we can keep the sex out, but you have 7 positive emotions according to Napoleon Hill. And that's first is desire, faith, love, sex, enthusiasm, romance, and hope. And if we think of just a few of them that really apply to what we do, you gotta have good desire between you and your team member, the faith, the love. We talked about sexual transmutation in the chapter, I think it is which one?
Chapter 11?
Yeah, chapter 11. See, Megan remembers that chapter. We know where your head is.
Well, you know.
Enthusiasm is very, very important when it comes to delivering a great guest experience, because if your team is not excited, they're not motivated, and enthusiasm is contagious. So if they're upbeat and excited, then they're going to relay that to the people. And you know, the romance actually plays a key in this. As a matter of fact, I used that language for you when we were talking about lead generation, the beginning of that relationship. That's what you're doing. You're romancing the lead to get them to come to you. So that's half the battle. And then we continue to romance them once they come in so they can keep coming back. So if we respect the relationship and if we're consistent with the way we treat people and focus on these positive emotions, then people are going to really come to you. They're going to be coming back all the time. So make sure you ask for feedback and make sure you have some kind of a system at checkout to get people's feedback so you know how you're doing. Because if you don't ask, you're not going to get to know. So how do we deliver that wow experience? So I'm going to focus on teaching you the experience that you can deliver via the senses. Because we are humans, right? And we have different senses that get stimulated and cause us to take certain actions, right? So we had our social hour with our mastermind members yesterday, and Miss Kwok from Vancouver was on, and she was asking some questions about how to increase the conversion rate during the consultation process. And, you know, we gave her some advice and all that. But it really comes back to that emotions I was just talking about earlier and the senses. Because that's how we make decision based on, you know, what we hear, what we see, how the place looks, the touch, so the smell. These are all the things that we really base a lot of our decisions on. So why would we not want to deliver a guest experience that will encompass all those sensories, experiences that we can offer to our guests? So these are the things we're going to focus on. We're going to take one at a time and talk about how important each one is and why you want to make sure you implement a sensory type of experience. So let's start with the appearance. And this sounds so simple, but I have to tell you, I have been on locations, and we're not talking like, these are like good places, like they're big. We're not talking like one little tiny little place. And when I walk in, from the way your reception area looks, to the way the retail, the merchandising is, to the clutter, to the unorganization, to lack of systems and processes that are in place, and what people actually see, your bathrooms. I mean, those are all important things that you want to make sure whatever the guest is seeing, that is the most important sense right there, the most important sense. Or I walk into a place and it almost looks like an office. Or some of you that have medical practices, and then you have like a couple of rooms of medical spa. I walk in, I feel like I'm walking into a doctor's office. You have all the chairs lined up all around the edges of the lobby. No. You want people to walk in and feel great. The minute they step foot into your place, the place should look immaculate, organized. Just the appearance makes you feel like, yes, I want to be there. It's the difference again of walking into Walmart or walking into Neiman Marcus. How they display products at Walmart and how they display merchandise at Neiman Marcus. So those are the differentiations. So when you look at your decor, you look at your paint, you look at your carpet, you look at this and that. And I have to tell you, there are some very smart people in our community, like Denise. She's on probably, right? She's still on. She remodeled, just like we remodeled our studio during the coronavirus. Well, during the shutdown, Denise was remodeling her place. She was painting walls, changing floors, because you have to look the part. And if you wanna charge people high prices that I'm telling you to charge, you have got to look the part. You cannot charge high prices and look like crap. You just can't. So the higher your prices are, the more beautiful you need to look. Right? So step up. Look at your place with fresh eyes and make the necessary adjustments. So take all these things into consideration. Right? So if you have a day spa, make sure that your amenities are always, there's nothing worse than walking into a steam room that stinks. That's like the worst thing on the planet. So those of you who have a day spa or a medical spa or a wellness center, it does not matter. You need to go in and look at everything that needs to look absolutely beautiful. And then don't forget about your marketing material. So your bag. Don't be using somebody else's bag. Use your own bag, your own branding, right? So all these things need to be in tip-top shape. And when you have them, you're on the right track.
Denise unmuted herself if you wanted to ask her a question or anything. She said she's
okay.
here.
Yeah, so we were just talking about remodeling. Denise? Hello.
Yes.
Ooh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So tell us.
Hello.
Hello, it's good to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, well, I hear you. I don't see you, but that's okay. So I can picture you, put it this way. So tell everybody.
Yeah.
So you have a beautiful place. You have 2 locations, and you're always, I mean, you are a very classy lady, and your place,
Oh, thank you.
and your place reflects it. No, I mean it. So tell everybody what you did during the coronavirus as far as remodeling.
Well, we closed down on Wednesday, March 18th. And fortunately, prior to the shutdown, I had already had a flooring installer come in, and he had taken measurements, and I had wanted to replace all of the floors in the spa, but could never really find an ideal time because that's a huge undertaking. We're a green spa, so we had cork flooring throughout all the square footage except for our retail area. So we literally, on Thursday the 19th, I called the flooring contractor, and they were in by that following Monday, and we had ripped up all of the flooring throughout the spa. Took everything right down to the concrete foundation, and we also so we replaced all the flooring. We had cabinetry that needed to be actually to be pulled out, our cabinets in both of our locker rooms. We retiled our showers in the locker rooms. So all of the things that after 10 years needed to get done, but were very challenging to do while you're open. So, and that loss of income. So we just hit the ground running and replaced, like I said, locker rooms, treatment rooms. We did a deep dive into the cleaning of all the treatment rooms. And I had some really amazing team members that I had probably half a dozen of them, actually about a dozen of them that all came in to help me during that time. And so it was also a really nice bonding experience, during that time. We all wore our masks and, kept our distance. But when the spa reopened, clients were excited about what we had done, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And what's really interesting is that even if you don't, like, she made a major investment in her remodeling, but even if you don't go that far, just cleaning, just doing deep cleaning. I'm not talking about superficial cleaning. It's deep cleaning, and it makes such a difference because you can tell whether something is clean or not. And it makes
absolutely.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. So how much, if you don't mind me asking, so like how often I understand floors don't need to be replaced that often, but like what kind of like maintenance program do you usually have? How often do you update things? Just to give people an idea, because we're talking about, this is a 10,000 square foot one location, and the other one, how big is Saratoga? 8?
Just under 7,000 square feet.
So,
and then Albany at 10,500 square feet. So, we're constantly painting and, changing things, even reupholstering furniture in our, areas, relaxation lounge. I'm reupholstering the chaise lounge chairs. But, I also did some wallpapering, which I thought was a big help. Obviously using, neutral things that don't go out of style, but that saved a lot. It was a more expensive investment upfront, but it requires less care than painting does. So, I also have a maintenance company that comes in twice a week at both locations on top of our in-house spa attendants that are constantly.
Yeah. And that's why your place always looks absolutely gorgeous. Like when you walk in, it smells amazing, it looks amazing, and it truly does deliver that great wow experience. And I'm so glad you hopped on and shared this. So it really does take a commitment on the owner's part to continually improve your space and your location. Like, you take us, for example, like we don't have hardly anybody coming into our office. And our office is nice, isn't it?
It is nice.
Like we have everything done just right. And it makes us feel good because we spend so much time here. And that's really the ownership that I want everybody to take from this, is to be able to really look at your place and make the necessary adjustments. Because when people come to Complexions to see Denise and her team, they have certain expectations of that experience. And if she's not up here, then she can't be charging those high prices that she does charge. So it is really...
We've actually gained some new customers because they knew that we would certainly be practicing above and beyond, what the guidelines were. So it was really interesting to get that feedback from customers. So we got a lot of new people during this time
Nice.
because they knew that we would be clean and a safe environment to go into.
Yeah, very
But
nice.
interesting thing that you're talking about with the five senses, one of the things that we have not been able to do is to reopen our beverage bars and some of our signature part of our experiences. We have a signature tea, and we have all of the things that are in the relaxation areas, and unfortunately we haven't been able to do that. So just recently we invested in these little trays, and I thought we would start doing that in the treatment room, so it would be a private little tray to bring to the client so that they can still have that sensory, the tea.
Yeah.
We ordered some little truffles and different things, so instead of keeping it out, bringing it to the rooms and try to keep it still
It's a good idea.
engaging experience. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Denise, for hopping on.
Sure.
Yeah, pleasure always to
Bye.
speak with you. Thank you. All right. So see, you guys, it's never ending. You always have to keep remodeling and changing and improving things. One thing I really would like you to do when we're talking about senses is the scent, the actual smell that your place has when you first walk in. So we work with Aroma Dina. That's the name of the company. What's her name? Christine? Christina. She's the founder of Aroma Dina, D-I-N-A, Aroma Dina. And she can actually create a customized scent for you. So when you walk into your place, you have that special thing that people can just say, oh, I can tell I'm at Complexions, for example. And when you have that great scent, people remember, you see, like people will remember that scent, and it anchors that thought into their head. So every time they smell that, they know that this is your scent. And then you can take that scent and you can put it into candles, you can sell it as essential oils, you can sell it in different ways in the treatment room. So it's a really nice touch, and it's a great differentiation point. And just because you're a medical spa, don't think that you cannot do this. You definitely can do this, and it will skyrocket your experience. So far we've talked about how the place looks and what does it smell like when they actually first come in. Take a look at this. Memories are increased by 40% when exposed to a great smell, a great scent. So we gotta smell good. We gotta smell good and unique and different. So you can really do that very easily. And then of course the sound. So I go and I get my manicure and pedicure in a little day spa here in Daytona. And every time I go there, they have this music that sounds like a whale is dying. I swear. It's like, like, what the heck kind of music is this? Please change it. So what music are you playing in your place? Is it uplifting? Is it fun? Again, just because we're a spa or a medical spa or a wellness center does not mean we have to put the people to sleep. We really don't. You can still have nice music without really having that bad sound of like pipes, or stick with piano is a great sound. Go to Apple and download different music and create your own playlist. Actually, what's becoming very popular right now with people opening up is something that we teach them how to do even. So every treatment room, you can have custom music based on what their preference is. So when you walk in, you can say, I'd love to customize your experience today with certain music that you love. So what type of music would you like to listen to today during your experience? And you can just select it, and it makes it so nice and unique again, rather than just having every room be exactly the same. So those of you who are not open yet, this would be a great thing to do, again, to add as a differentiation to your guest experience. So makes a big difference. All right, so make sure that you have the nice things. If you're gonna do a water element, make sure it's always working. You don't know how many times I go in and they're supposed to have a water wall, but there's no water on the wall. It's like, what happened? Oh, it broke a couple months ago. Well, fix it. We can't have things that are broken. So the whole ambiance on that mood, we're setting the mood with what we see, what we smell, and what we hear. And it makes such a difference.
Dory, some people are asking, how do you determine what that great scent is? Just because they like one smell doesn't
Yeah.
mean it's an appropriate
Yeah.
smell for everybody.
Actually, there are some, and that's what Christina will do,
Okay.
is she'll sample and she'll give them an idea of different things that are most popular where people are not gonna go in and say, ooh, what is that? For example, take lemongrass. Lemongrass is probably one of the most popular scent because almost everybody likes it. And it's very calming and it's nice and it smells good. So that's what her specialty is. So she'll walk them through the process, they'll sample, and then they'll decide which is, because you don't want it to be like so strong like Abercrombie. Remember
Right.
when you go into their store, it's like it's in your face so much. It's a little too much.
And
You can
you-
smell it all the way
yeah.
down.
And if you have allergies, you're like sneezing and
Yeah,
coughing. And
Yeah. So definitely she can help you with that. And you might want to put her link
Sure,
in the page so they also know. So the other thing, of course, is the touch. And the touch can go in different directions. And one of them is, of course, the linen that you use, the towels that you use, what are you bringing in touch with my skin, all these things that make, again, a big difference in the guest experience. If you're giving me a robe, I was in Turkey a few years ago, and if you're not taking into consideration different male size and you have only one robe size, so we're sitting in this relaxation lounge in a Turkish hammam, and all these guys, they had a painting convention at the same time I was doing a leap ahead in Turkey, and all these people were like huge guys, like big painters, right? Construction guys, manly guys. And they're sitting in this little tiny robe. They were like little mini skirts, almost showing their jewels off. Like, who wants to see that? So the whole idea of what am I touching? What are you putting next to my skin? Are things gonna fit people properly? Are we making them feel comfortable? Are we not? I've walked into places where the facial room, this really truly happened. I can't make this up, you guys. So I walk into a facial room and it was so bad that I refused to actually have a facial. I was supposed to be there as a secret shopper and I refused to lay in that bed. That's how bad it was. I mean, you could tell that they had not changed the linen between clients. That's bad. That is very, very bad. So when you're talking also about touch, I really like the Discovery Station. I think this would be a great opportunity for you, and that's why so many department stores do such a great job at selling all their products, because what do? They sample. But I go into most spas, there's no sampling opportunities, there's no product of the month, there's no treatment of the month, there's no sampling anywhere. So why not do like a little beauty bar or have a little table somewhere, depending on what your place is like, and highlight that product of the month or the treatment of the month and give people the opportunity to sample something. Now I know we're in the coronavirus, you're probably thinking, yeah, Dory, but we can't do that now. And I understand, but we're not gonna be stuck here forever. But there are ways to still do that. Instead of just leaving it wide open, you can have your guest relations or a team member come with a tiny spatula and give them an idea of what the product actually smells like or feels like. So there are ways. Just because we are in the middle of this mess doesn't mean that we can't do this. You just have to figure a way around it, right? So if we don't sample, if we don't get them engaged, if we don't make, again, that emotional connection between the product, between the touch, between the linen and you and the client, then again, we're not capturing their attention. I'd like to give you one more resource, and that's Comfy. Comfy linen. I have them on my bed at home, as a matter of fact. That's how good they are. And you can sell Comfy sheets, actually. So Comfy is spelled C-O-M-P-H-Y, comfy.com. And they have the best linen. To me, they are anyway. They wash well. They're very much unwrinkly.
I can second that they're the greatest.
Oh, they are. They're amazing. And it feels so good when I get in bed. So when you're talking about your linen and your beds, or whatever you want to call them, tables, I don't like to call them tables. I like to call them bed, because I don't want to sit on a table. I want to sit in a bed. So, and then even you guys that do injectables, just because you're doing injectables, it doesn't mean that you can't give me that great, again, cozy, comfortable, great experience. I have one particular client in Seattle, Dominique, and she does an amazing job. Actually, I should have put a picture in here for you of how she does her bed. She takes a down comforter and she puts a duvet cover on it. And then she puts it on the bed, but then she takes it and ties it down underneath. So it just looks nice and tight and fluffy. It makes you want to just go and sit in that chair. And then she has pillows so people can lean and be more comfortable. And those are the type of things that make a difference. Instead of just me sitting on the leather chair, I'm sitting on more comfortable place. And then people tell me, yeah, but then you have to change it, after each person. Actually, the comforter you don't. The pillow you do. And then you can change it at the end of the day, because they're not sitting there naked. They have clothes on, right? So there are ways around making, again, that touch feel very good. And then, of course, the touch is your products. The products that you use, make sure that you have products that are going to make people feel good about what kind of treatments they're actually having. So you heard Denise say that her beverage bar is down right now. But you know what? You can still do like the little tiny, tiny, tiny water bottles. And then you can do something like this. I don't know if any of you actually use these, because I don't like to have just water served for people. I mean, everybody does that, right? So instead of just having water, then you can use some of these concentrates. This is from Pure, and this is from Herbis Way. There's two different companies. And what these are, they can turn your water into a specialty drink. So instead of just serving somebody water, let's say you come up for the theme of the month. And the theme of the month is to detoxify, okay? So then you can have your drink match that theme. And what these are is you just take one little squirt and you can put it in the water, and all of a sudden now we have a specialty drink rather than just plain old water. That's what your competition does. Your competition serves plain old water. You should not be serving plain old water. And you know what's great about this? It should be sold in your boutique. So not only did they experience it in your place, but now they get to take it home with them. So whatever we sample inside our place, whatever we serve them inside our place. You heard Denise talk about teas. So there are companies that private label teas. So this was done for a place, and you can sell things like this. You have your tea bag here, and it has your private label on it. So if you want a private label teas, you can reach out to White Lion, and they'll be more than happy to private label your teas. Or this is the other company that we had. It's called the Tea Seller. They're also a great company, and they can also help you do some tea packaging. So if I'm gonna serve that tea, I'm going to do what? I'm going to sell the tea. And that's what really we want. So between the drinks and the sales, or the tea and the specialty water, or your candles or different things like that, those are all things that you can. If you're burning that candle, then you should have the candle to actually sell it. So again, just because you can't be having the whole full-blown food and beverage does not mean that we can't still serve something. We just have to be very smart and have them already like pre-packaged in small little packages. You can go get a little tiny package of nuts. You can get a small bottle of water, do the little thing on it. So you can do the little tray that Denise was talking about. So you have the tray, you have your little pre-packaged nuts, you have your pre-packaged water, specialty water, and we didn't make the experience suffer just because of what is going on right now. So there is a way. There is always a way. Don't you guys agree? There's always a way. So keep that in mind and make it unique. Make it fun, make it good. People love snacks. You definitely will increase your wow verbiage coming out of their mouth when we also take care of something fun for them to snack on. So those are the things that we really should do. And then, of course, that makes it all unique. And that's what you really want. So I almost want to look at my competition as to what are they doing so I can do something totally different. I don't want to look at my competition and copy what they're doing. That's like the kiss of death. You want to be innovative and do things that are going to make you and your clients happy. So these are some things that you can do. Like doing a welcome ritual. When somebody sets foot into your place, what makes that welcoming experience different? What can we do at check-in that makes that nice little connection? Think about it. Does anybody do anything at check-in that makes a difference as far as the check-in experience is concerned? Does anybody with us live have a ritual for the check-in process? If you do, write it in. And I'm going to tell you a couple of little ideas. And then, of course, you have the transition lounge and the relaxation lounge. So what can we do in there as far as reading material? What do you have in there? Do you have Vogue, Cosmopolitan, Allure, People magazine? Get rid of them. Out. You don't want those. Because all you're doing is promoting Lancôme, Estée Lauder, Chanel, all your competition. So they can be looking in the magazine and say, oh, you know what? I need to stop at the mall after this so I can go buy my shitty cream. We don't want that. So we want to have different kinds of books and entertaining. We should have a TV with not the news, no, a loop promoting all the different things that you have going on. Silent with no verbiage, voiceover on it, just a silent loop. So those are the kind of things. We need to find ways to, again, connect with our clients via the experience. Control what we want them to see. You're in charge. I'm not going to put magazines on my table promoting other brands. Like, why would you do that? That's like shooting yourself in the foot. Right? So don't do it. We talked about the refreshments, and then you have some treatment rituals. So you should have a certain way you start the treatment, and then a certain way you end the treatment. So you have a beginning ritual and then an end ritual. And again, these guys can apply to whatever kind of business you have. It does not matter, again, whether you're a day spa, medi-spa, wellness center, medical practice, it does not matter. When you go out of your way to make someone feel special, they're going to feel it. They're going to come back and see you. But if we don't, if we take them as they're a number, go through the motions, that's why people leave businesses, actually, because of an indifferent guest experience. Indifferent guest experiences are not great. They're not bad. They're like in the middle. They're your average Joe. And that's not gonna get you to where you wanna go. You wanna go beyond. You wanna really knock their socks off. So do those things. And then the way you present the treatment. That is just, again, it's just classy. Like you go to Morton's or you go to Ruth's Chris. What do? The waiters and the waitresses, they're all dressed so nicely. They're all pressed. They didn't come to work all wrinkled. The way they present the steaks on a tray for you and show you what selections of meat you can have today. Isn't it much better than going and saying, oh, we have the filet and the prime rib today, and they're amazing. Or they go with all the steaks on the tray and they start explaining to you every cut and why it's going to be the best meal you've had. It's all in the presentation. And the better we present, the more we're going to be able to get them to come back. So when we present the treatment, you gotta show what you're doing. So if I'm doing a facial, before you start my facial, you tell me, Dory, here's what we're having today. If it's a HydraFacial, I'm gonna present to you what you're going to experience. Again, using the Pride system, remember? But when you do those type of things, again, people are gonna see that you care. People are going to be more engaged, and they're gonna know what they're going to experience. So you tell them what you're going to do, you do it, and then after you do it, we're gonna talk about how great it was, right? So, gotta do that. So the overall experience from the minute they set foot in your place to the minute they actually leave should really be planned out. It should be orchestrated, just like they do at Disney. They have the process in place. They have the flow of exactly what needs to happen. But if we don't, and we don't take the time to develop that experience, and then to teach it to the team or develop it with them, and implement it and make sure that we measure it, then we're not going to be getting better. And we want to get better. And the better we get, the more successful we are. The more retention we have. It all adds up. It all adds up.
We have a lot of comments coming up on this
Yes?
topic. You ready for some of them?
Go ahead.
Okay. So first they want to ask, what's your opinion on lab coats, uniforms? So we have several people asking that question. They're like, we want to know what Dory says.
Yes. So if you're a medical professional, I think it's good to have a lab coat. And I don't mean you have to, like take what I'm wearing today. Instead of do you like my gold jacket, by the way? Can you tell it's gold? Anyway, take off my jacket. I have my black pants. I have a black shirt underneath. And then you should have your lab coat if you're a doctor, right? So you could wear whatever you want underneath. Just make sure you have your lab coat. Preferred monogram, not name tag. Doctors should not wear name tags. It should be monogrammed with your logo on it and then your name. That's classy. So go buy. I have to tell you, I went into a place one time. This is a doctor's office. Again, I can't make this stuff up. Her lab coat was hanging behind the door. And I'm not lying, I swear. That lab coat was so dirty. It was so gross. I looked at it and I almost died. Like that's what she put on to go see a client. No. It should be dry clean, crisp, starched, looking like $1,000,000. That's how it should look. So that's for the doctors or medical professionals. Yes. You're doing your role. Your role is a medical professional. So look like it. It puts us at ease as a consumer. It makes me feel better to know you're a medical professional and you're wearing that lab coat. It works. Okay, now for the team. The team should definitely have a uniform. Absolutely must have a uniform. Because if you don't have a uniform, you know what happens? They create their own style. They come to work however they want to come to work. You have no standards. Some people tell me, oh, but we all wear the same color. Yeah, but we have same color with décolleté and the girls are showing. We have same color with mini skirts and it's not appropriate. We have same colors with something clingy when they should not be wearing something clingy. No, no, you're representing me. This is my business. You better look the part. And when you come to work, I want you looking like $1,000,000. We are in the image business. And if our team does not look the part, we're in deep caca. Nobody's gonna come. They have to look the part. And frankly, I'm amazed sometimes on how some team members look. I was doing an on-site training one day, and one team member walked in, and I had to say something because that person. So she walks in, I go up and introduce myself, and I look at her and I say, "Oh, you really dressed up for me today, thank you." She looked like my housekeeper looked better than her. She had her hair all wrapped up, some ugly ass pants on, t-shirt that's all wrinkled and yucky. This is a training. They're paying me thousands of dollars to come and train them, and you couldn't put something decent on? No. They gotta look the part. Uniforms, definitely. Now, my guest relations team should have different uniform than the rest of the team, by the way. So they could be one look, and then your providers, the rest of the people, can have a different look. But definitely, uniforms are a must.
Any recommendations on color style?
It all depends on your color palette, your image, everything. Like, it would look very funny to us if when we go, like, you know, our colors are orange and brown, right? So if we had a spa, it would be very funny if I had my team in red uniforms. So that would not work. So when we start someone's branding, we look at what does your interior look like? What color carpet do you have? What walls do you have? What does your website look like? What does your menu? And everything should be cohesive. Everything should have your branding colors. That's how we decide what colors to wear. So it should have an accent of your branding color.
So, and part of the guest experience, you're talking about, you know, magazines for them not to read, things like that. So someone had popped in and asked, do you recommend, because they can't have magazines right now because of the COVID, should they get iPads with something on it? And then to me, instead of having to buy an individual iPad for every room and client, they should do the TV on the wall and do a video loop.
Absolutely.
To me, that's more cost effective, and then the clients aren't touching it. They still don't have to wipe down the iPad.
Exactly. You're creating more headaches for you right now with iPad. I have to tell you, the electronic frames or a TV on the wall is going to be your best friend, especially those of you who have cool sculpting or this and that. People are sitting in the room for half an hour doing nothing or longer. If you don't have electronic frames in every single treatment room, again, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And I don't mean that loop should be all advertisement. That's not what I'm talking about, because that gets old. It has to be engaging content. You can have trivia questions. You can have case studies. You can have before and after pictures. You can have success stories. You can have testimonials, written testimonials. You can have purchase a gift card. You can have the treatment of the month, the product of the month. I mean, I could go on, and this should be about 100 slide loop because you want to time it. It could even be longer. You want to time it to where if I'm sitting in the lobby waiting for, let's say, 10 minutes, 20 minutes or whatever, or if I'm in a treatment room waiting, then you want it to loop, not the same information over and over. You want to be entertaining for a longer period of time. Actually, we used to sell that. Then we used to sell the video loop.
We still actually have
We
it
still
available.
do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we have a PowerPoint. That's really what it is. It's a PowerPoint presentation, and it just has a ton of slides. You can take your menu too, and you put the menu in there. So let's say you offer HydraFacial. So then, of course, you have a slide about the HydraFacial. So combining your menu and then all the other things I just named, now we have something. So instead of, again, the silly magazines, you have a purpose. You're controlling what it is that you want them to see.
And they can update it with when their newsletter goes out, whatever the features are that month, the topic of the month. It's really a nice presentation, and it's very easy for them to customize it to their place.
Yep. So I would definitely do that. Other questions?
Just a lot of people were asking the names of the things that you recommended, so what I did is dropped a link to our resource page from our website where all of these names Dory has mentioned, plus many more, are right available there for
Yeah.
them.
So I just want to show you, she just brought me Estique's. So this is Estique's bag. Oh, I found my buttons that we do. Okay, so look how cute. So if I went in there and I spent a few $100s on creams, cleansers, toners, whatever, I mean, the last thing you want is for me to walk out with some generic bag. You wouldn't do that when you go to Tiffany, would you? Could you imagine going to Tiffany and not walking out with the, by the way, their color is almost Tiffany color. You don't walk out with a plastic bag. You don't. So again, you want to raise your price, you gotta raise everything else. So if you look at all their branding from their little gift card, you see how nice that is? They have different, this is their menu. This is the plastic, this is the plastic surgery side though. And then they have their regular, where's their booklet menu? They have a very nice menu.
I think
So.
we took it out the first day for an
Oh,
example and
okay.
then put it back in the bag.
So
I
it's
grabbed
not
it.
in here. But yeah, you want to be classy. That's really the bottom line. That's what I'm talking about right here, is being classy. And when you're classy, you can charge a lot more money. That's really the bottom line. So, and then the other thing you can do, like having little hats, like let's say somebody joins your VIP program. We were just bragging about Estique actually. They have 480 members now. And when somebody joins the membership, they give them a t-shirt with Estique on it. You can give them a hat. So now they're helping you promote your business. And these are things that you should definitely do. Or you can do the mugs or some kind of a drink bottle promoting, again, being green. You can do the little bears like we have with the little logo. So when things, you want to do something special or you want to give somebody a special gift, then you can.
Dr. Carter and her team are all together
Oh, hi,
learning about
guys.
the Wild Guest experience, and they just took a photo and said, "We're learning with Dory."
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. Yeah. So those are the kind of things. Now, if you want some reading things, those of you who want to put some of those in maybe after our little chaos here, but things like this, cute little positive quotes that are so quick. You can do table books about travel or health and wellness, things like that. And that's a lot nicer than, you know, just flipping through a magazine. It has to complement what we do. And those magazines don't really complement what we do. And I just want to give you a couple more suggestions for checkouts. I love these little cards. They're actually from Hay House. Hay, Hay, house.com. And or you can buy them also from Amazon. They're like decks of cards, and they all have different things. Like this is wisdom. By the way, I always pray for wisdom. That's like my favorite thing in the world. Wisdom. Oh. Love wisdom. Okay, she believed she could, so she did. So imagine this. Somebody's checking out. Instead of your typical checkout process that everybody else does, wouldn't it be nice that once you've done everything, you did the guest recipe form, you reserved the next appointment, you did your retail sales, you processed the payment, you put everything in the bag, and right before they're ready to leave, we're gonna take a few of these cards and say, I want you to walk away with a positive thought for today, Tara. So take your pick and just fan the cards like this and let them take one and walk away with a positive thought from you. Now, here's the thing. They're gonna take it. What are they gonna do? What is she gonna do? Read it. And she's gonna say, that is so nice.
And I would probably take a selfie and post it on social media.
There you go. So she can do that. But here's the better idea yet, is that you can say, since you like it so much, and there's so much negativity in the world right now, so wouldn't it be nice to be able to share these cards with people you come across? So we have them available in the boutique. And if you'd like to have one, I'll be more than happy to ring it up for you. So we just took, this is an ending ritual, right? This is not an ending treatment ritual, but it's an ending ritual at checkout. You could make it an ending ritual. Or I have some clients that lay a card on the bed. So before they actually start the treatment, they take it and they use it. So these are the little touches. Remember I talked a little bit about touch points the other day? That's what I mean by touch points. And the more touches we have, the better off you're gonna be, because they are going to be saying, wow, because these are all unexpected things that they had no idea they were gonna happen. Now, am I gonna do this every time? So stuff like this, you need to rotate. So maybe 1 month you'll do this. Another month, we've done this in spas or medical spas as well. You know these nice big glass containers? So you can put them behind your counter. They have the lid on them. You can take little lavender, put it in a small sachet bag with a little tie. You can put a hang tag on it from Inspiration Management or the name of your business. And you can have lavender. You can have little rosebuds. You can have calendula or chamomile or rosemary or whatever it is. They sell them in big bags. And put them in those little tiny organza bags. And this month, I have something different, because if I do this over and over, it's gonna get stale, right? So you have to keep innovating. You have to keep changing. So then I'm checking out. Then I can say, Tara, we have something special this month. You get to choose one little bag of your choice. What flavor would you like? We have the lavender, the calendula, the roses, or whatever. And they get to pick one. And now they're gonna take this nice little bag with them. What are they gonna do with that bag? What would you do with the bag? If you had a little sachet bag of, let's say, lavender, what would you do with it?
I would probably put it on my pillow, hang it on my mirror on my phone.
You, of all people, what would you do with it?
What would I do with it?
Oh my
Or in
God.
your purse.
No,
No.
put it in your lingerie drawer. What's wrong with you girls?
Maybe I need Dory to come read through
Oh
my
my
house.
gosh.
I would have put it next to my pillow
Oh
at night.
no, we don't. That's essential oil, not little lavender thing.
I spray lavender on my pillow.
Well, that's a spray. That's good. Yeah. So that's another little thing you can do at checkout is the little misters, right? So there are so many things. As a matter of fact, we did this one time, long time ago actually, but we should do that again with our mastermind members. Go to the gift shows once they open back up. Atlanta is my favorite gift show. They do it, I think, twice a year. And it's like building after building after building, and it's all unique items that you can buy for your boutique area to sell. Amazing. So I want you to be different. Don't just have one shelf of product. I want you to practice geometric growth. So when somebody comes in, what else can they buy from us? It's not just the treatment. The treatment is just one revenue stream like I showed you. You've got the treatment, you've got the home care products, you've got the little experience, little selection of things from the candle. By the way, this is a great candle brand too. Matchak actually introduced me to this company.
Yep.
They sell their candles and they're not cheap, but they're very, very nice candle. It's called AQ. AQ. Very nice packaging, and they smell absolutely great. So this one is $40. Sells for $40. So these are the kind of unique gifty items that you can have. The other company I really like is Isola. And they have oils, they have body oils that are so yummy. I use them all the time. They actually have lavender in it, they have rose in it. It's really cool. And they have these cute little candles too. They name them different, like this is Strength. And they smell absolutely delicious too. So Isola. They're based in Miami, I think. And then the other thing I really like is this company. I was gonna wear these bracelets, but they don't match what I have on today. These are nice quality little bracelets, and I really like this company. It's called Haichi, and they have all kinds of cute little things. So imagine this. I'm checking out, and we didn't talk about point of purchase yet, but here, I'll bring it in now. So POP product, right? Point of purchase. And a point of purchase is when you actually are checking out and you see one more thing that you want to buy. So imagine having this little bar for the bracelets, and the bracelets are just tiny. I'm not talking anything huge. So this little nice bracelet bar by your cash register or near or whatever, and you have these very nice bracelets hanging there. How many people do you think will check out and buy a bracelet? You just increased your profit tremendously by just having these little point of purchase. And again, you should rotate them. Don't have the same thing every single month. You have to be creative. So your point of purchase should be changed on monthly basis. And you should always have something. One thing. I don't want you to look trashy. Remember, this is classy, not trashy. So you can still have a point of purchase done in a classy way and increase your ticket sale average by having something right there.
Especially, I love the season coming up. You have like pumpkin this and spice that. There's so much you can add.
Yep. So those are some of the things. Anything else? Any other comments, things, ideas you want to share, or?
Kai's like, Dory, I love that. America's Mart in Atlanta is my go-to.
Oh, nice. Well, see, we need to go see her.
Exactly. So when everybody keeps asking for these resources, Tara and I have both posted the link that for inspirationmanagement.com /resources. All the list of the places that we discuss are on there.
Oh, actually, this is another thing I found. I love this, actually. So this is so cool. This will be a great point of purchase, by the way, too. So this is an essential oil dispenser. So all it is a nice little disc, and you just twirl it, and you see the little white part here? This is where you put your essential oil. And then you can put it in your office, you can put it in your bedroom, you can put it in your wherever you want. So you just open it up. It's so cool. You open it up, you have the disc, you put the essential oil on it, and then you close it up. You can either close it off totally if you don't want any scent at all, or you can open it up a little bit to have the scent out. So this company's name is called Yo-Yo. And it comes in gold, it comes in different colors. It's called Yo-Yo. And what a great point of purchase. Isn't that great? Like, who would not buy this? I bought it. I actually bought it for my entire team when I was at the conference and I saw it.
Yeah.
I bought them for everybody. And I don't sell this stuff. Very cool. And a great packaging. The packaging is key, by the way. If it's not packaged properly, you're not gonna sell it, believe me. Packaging is very, very crucial, very important. So anyway, it looks really nice. All right. Okay, I'm done.
Not quite, almost.
I'm trying to remember the place up north that lives on the farm and they have the beehives and all of that. They do like the soaps, the hand stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Actually, we have some.
But every one of their package has a nice little positive
Yeah.
note when you open it.
Yeah, I
It's
know
so
what you're
amazing.
talking
I
about.
love that lip balm from that company. I
Yeah.
loved that.
So, anyway, those are the things. Oh, that was exciting. I need a break now. All right, let's talk about the quality assurance. Is anybody doing anything? Let's share a little bit. Is anybody doing anything unique that you would like to share with the group? Anything interesting that you do?
So Kai uses a ceramic plate with water or an herbal tea, mint, and the scent that they chose for their treatment,
Nice,
and then a chocolate to finish their treatment.
nice. I like that. A little chocolate kiss.
Yes.
I like little chocolate kisses with nuts preferably. Because I'm a nutty girl. I love my nuts. Are nuts good for you?
Some are.
It's protein.
Are cashews good for you? I'm on the cashews kick now.
Yep, they're good for you.
They are?
Yes.
I eat cashews every night now.
We should ask our panel of doctors.
I know,
Medical professionals.
Teresa says they're high in cholesterol.
That's what I thought. I probably should not be eating them. I knew that actually. But yeah, anyway, we'll move on from my diet.
She says everything in moderation.
That's true. Yeah. All right. I want to bring your attention to this here, the quality assurance form that you should have every single day checked off before you open up your business. So you need to assign someone on your team, whether it's rotating, whether it's the guest relations team. So what you do is you put down all the treatment rooms on this form, room by room by room by room, and all the things that you want to actually check. So you start with your guest relations area first, all the things you need to check, make sure the shelves are not dusty, move things around so they look new, the floor is clean, everything. So then you move on to the treatment rooms and lay and do all the things that a guest does. So if you have a day spa and you have a massage room, you better lay down with your head in the cradle, looking down to see what the clients actually see. You'll be amazed what I've seen under the beds. I'm not lying. Again, I can't make this stuff up. I walked into a place one time and I was having a massage, and my earrings that I've had for 20 some years, putting them on, my earring dropped while I was putting it on. So I went to turn on the light, and the girl said, "Oh, no, don't worry about it. Why don't you just go on and I'll look for it for you." I'm like, no, I'm sure it's just right here. It must be just right here. She's like, "Oh, that's okay. I'll take care of it." So of course, when she said that again, I'm thinking to myself, what is it that she does not want me to see? So I insisted, because I was there as a secret shopper, so I had to see what was going on. So she finally says, "Well, you know, our vacuum cleaner broke, and we haven't really vacuumed in a little while." I'm like, "What's a little while?" She said, "It's been a little while." And I'm thinking to myself, what the heck did I walk into? So she turned on the light, and that floor, I mean, you could tell like all the edges were all dusty and gross and yucky. But that's what happens. Like, what kind of a leader would not go out and buy another vacuum cleaner because your vacuum cleaner broke? Like, who does that? Crazy shit. I'm telling you. I can tell you some stories. Anyway, so the quality assurance needs to be signed off by someone, whoever checked it for the day. So the garbage is empty. Actually, I'm amazed how many times people don't empty the trash before, like the night before. So when you walk in, and if you're running late and the first client is already here, they go into the bathroom, and the bathroom basket is already filled with stuff. That is gross. That is unacceptable. Totally unacceptable. So that quality assurance is gonna make sure that your place is in tip-top shape, and that you are a clean organization. Makes a difference, you guys. You gotta be clean.
Absolutely. Especially right now, people are
Yeah.
judging you.
Yeah.
They really are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more aware on clients' mind than it was before.
Yeah, for sure.
We were over here laughing because we pitched the nut comment
Conversation.
to all of our professional medical professionals, and they're all giving their medical advice saying you better start eating pistachio because it helps your libido go up. That is their medical professionalism.
Well, I don't want my libido to go up because I don't have anybody to libido with.
So Marie was saying to add extra to her WOW guest experience, on their ceiling they have little starlights, so when a client is laying face up, they have little starlights to mesmerize to put them in that calming
Nice.
feeling,
Mood.
if you will. Yeah, the
Yeah.
mood.
The ambiance.
Yeah.
Very
Angela
nice.
says she has that checklist every night that you're discussing.
Mm.
She likes to come into a perfect place each morning, and she is the queen of Excel checklists.
Nice.
We need to introduce her to Martina.
That's right.
Could you
No.
imagine having to come in the next morning and having to clean up from
Yeah.
the night before? And
Unacceptable.
It
Yeah.
upsets your mood for
Yeah,
the
plus
day.
you're gonna get stinky
Yeah,
and like who
absolutely.
wants to clean and then come and give me a facial? Are you kidding me?
Mhm.
No. Everything should be done at the end of the day. Everything should be done. And really that quality assurance form is just making sure that everything is good. It's not the time to do it. It's just checking up on what everybody else should have done. And like your inventory, like do you go into a treatment room and open up somebody's cabinets? I have seen some cabinets. How unorganized. No rhyme or reason. Just stuff is everywhere. Not good. Not good. And you know what's bad about that actually? Is that it's a lot of money sitting around not being utilized properly. Inventory management is huge. And if you don't have a handle on that, you must. So everything has to be nice and clean and organized and just in tip-top shape. Seriously. That's what I would love for all of you to practice. And I'm sure a lot of you already do that. And I know we have some great winners here. Just again, if you're doing all these things, then that's great. Let this be a reassurance that you're on the right track. And if you're not, it's always good to go back and just double check.
Mira says she always tells her team when she hires them that they have a health inspector that comes in every single day.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And
There
they
you
have
go.
no idea whether it happens or not, but they're
Mhm.
expected that it's
Yeah.
going to.
And then the other thing with that is having like a secret shopper come in often and make sure that your team is following your procedures in the treatment room and what are they doing, what are they offering, are they giving away upgrades for free, what's going on. Those are the type of things that are really very important. Actually, is Caroline on today? Caroline Freeman?
Caroline
is.
Freeman's
Yeah,
line.
Caroline, we have a story to tell you with Caroline. So when I first started working with Caroline, it's been actually years now. She's such a special person, actually. She has a beautiful place. And one time we were doing a coaching session, and she was telling me about this girl that used to work with her who's no longer working with her and what took place after she left, what she discovered. So this massage therapist, I think she was a massage therapist, maybe she can correct me if I'm not recalling this properly. So Caroline is on the phone with me, and she tells me, you're not going to believe this story. I had this girl that was getting such high tips. Like people were leaving her like $30, $50 in tips. And I just thought that she was just good. So she quit. I hired another person. The other person comes in, starts doing the clients of this other person that left. And all of a sudden, the clients started asking for all the freebies that the other girl was giving them. Like she was doing the aromatherapy for free, whatever other body treatments, massages, deep tissue for the price of a Swedish, blah, 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 blah. So we found out that she was giving away those upgrades so she can have a better tip. That's stealing. That's just stealing from Caroline. And that's what happens in your treatment room. So if you don't send in a secret shopper to see what is going on in your treatment rooms, because once that door is shut, you have no idea what's going on. None. So Caroline was being robbed from that person. Thank God she quit. So then that new person, she's like, oh no, if you want that, you have to pay extra. And she's like, oh, well, so and so never charged me extra. Why wouldn't you do the same thing? It's terrible. Isn't that right, Caroline? You remember that?
She said she was a skin specialist.
Oh, okay, so she was an esthetician. So it's crazy that people will actually do that. But if we don't have those checks and balances in place, that's what happens. So be careful. All right, so what improvements do you need to make for your guest experience from what we talked about? What aha moments did you have that makes you stop and think of what is it that you really need to do? What would you change? What would you improve? What do you need to implement? So share with us into the chat box.
Need to look into scents, Miss Angela.
Nice. Gotta smell good. Anybody else? Come on, or I'm gonna use my chicken.
Marie said Marie Keaton is gonna add in rituals.
Nice,
Private label tea.
nice. That's a great idea, by the way. You could make nice little chunk of money from just the teas.
So Dr. Bells is saying, I've had this happen before, and they've even had the secret shopper take advantage of them. Any options?
They're giving away upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
That's
options.
Dr. Bells.
Of course there are options. You're fired! No, you have to really set the standards, the protocols of every single treatment that you have going on. And if you send in the secret shopper and you notice that the protocols are not being followed, that's your opportunity for training and coaching. That's where you really need to start before you fire them. So you sit down with them, you explain what the proper procedures are and that they need to follow it. So you really should have a big group meeting with everybody explaining this to them. And then tell everybody, this is important right here what I'm going to tell you. Tell everybody that you are going to be sending in a secret shopper. And just like Megan said, you're not going to know when, where, or who. And they're going to come in. And just so you're aware, they know what the protocol is. And if they come out of that treatment room and they debrief me and they tell me that that was not happening, that is ground for dismissal. It's so important to your business to follow your procedures. Could you imagine if a pilot that flew for, let's say, Delta or whoever, and they did not go through the checklist, and they just decide, oh, I've flown many times, I don't need to use the checklist. They use the checklist. I don't care how long you've been a pilot, they use the checklist. So your team needs to know what those steps are, and they need to follow them.
Can you also give Dr. Bells some advice on how to choose the secret shopper? He or she is saying that they've had the secret shopper take advantage of them as well.
Ugh.
So I'm curious if they're actually choosing family, friends, or who they're choosing as that.
Yeah, I mean, there are professionals that do secret shopping. If you are using a friend or a family member or things like that, I mean, you have to use somebody who obviously you trust, somebody that you know well, and you have to tell them ahead of time what is it that you want them to do, because there are certain conversations you have to have with the person to find out whether they're doing the right thing or not. Actually, we have a whole module on that. I need to redo that module, the secret shopper module, because that's a very important step of your business. It really is, to make sure that your team is on par and they're doing the right thing.
We have lots of, Angela's already looked up K-House cards. Dr. Kassam uses ritual set, private label teas, needs personalized music.
Nice.
I would say music is very key. I've been in a couple places and it was nice and relaxing and I was having a nice facial, and then all of a sudden the music switched and it was like this bouncing, and it took my brain totally out of that experience, and it kept getting so bad. I finally asked the girl, I'm like, can you just turn the music off? Because I'm trying to focus. So, and they're like, well, we let team members choose
Yeah.
who gets the music. And I'm like, oh, you know?
Yeah,
That's not,
we're gonna have hard rock in a minute.
yeah, right?
We'll be having the Rolling Stones.
There you go.
Yeah, the music is definitely key, and you have to really pick something that's still energizing, that has nice energy. Energy is huge, and the energy comes across from the people, it comes across from the environment, and you definitely want to have that nice positive energy. And you can sell some of this stuff too, right? Energy things. Energy jewelry, energy this, energy that, so you have a lot of opportunities. I did not show you this during the marketing thing, and I just happened to see them in the SD bags. These are little buttons. They should be bigger buttons. I always joke because I fired the person that did the small buttons. Not for this only reason, but there were other ones. But so they say, and they're very good. Again, your promotion of the month. Let's say you have your theme for the month. Let's say it's detoxify or look younger or lose weight or whatever. So then you would have these buttons that everybody should wear. So it has a little, you can buy them by a clip. You can order these everywhere online. So this one says lose 20 pounds in 20 days. Ask me how. So let's say we're doing a whole month of losing weight, and your whole team is wearing these buttons, right? So what do you think? Do you think you're gonna get more business simply because you're wearing these buttons? Yeah, because they're conversation starters. And if you're not doing stuff like that, again, you're not helping yourself. These buttons are so cheap. You can do the different phrases. I have different phrases here for you. Want long lashes? Ask me how. So if you want to sell Latisse. Win a spa experience. If you're doing a little register to win or asking for referrals, ask me how, right? Make wrinkles and lines disappear. Ask me how. So they're great little surprise your Valentine. Ask me how. So depending on the season and what you want to do, you have opportunities with doing just little things like this. So between the button, between the loop, sending that message again, between the flyer maybe at check-in, or the poster in transition lounge, or whatever, anything that you want to use to promote that. If you don't bring awareness, you're not going to sell more. A lot of times I walk in and I don't even know what the theme of the month is, or what the promotion of the month is, or what's going on this month. You need that. You need that. Even Target does that. Walmart. I mean, actually, Target is a great example for you of when you should change your season. They're very good on that. So if Easter is coming up, or what's coming up next, Halloween, they're already decorated. So if you go into Target and they're already decorated, you better be decorated. You need to be at least 30 days advance of when the thing is going on. So I want you to take the time to create the theme for the month. What is it that we're focused on? And then if you do the experience steps from what they eat to what they drink to what they smell to what they do, and it's all themed after that one idea. You have the buttons, the flyer, the loop. Now we're talking. Now we're promoting. Now we're delivering great experiences. It's fun.
It is. And it's very simple to do. I mean, and for me, the nice thing is like the ready to go. It's already planned out in advance for them, and they can literally just follow that season right along.
Yeah. So, gotta do what you gotta do. How am I doing on time? Oh my God! You did not warn me. I have 10 minutes. Okay, so this is, I'm gonna flip through very quick because these are, I took all the things that we talked about and actually put them in the upcoming slides. But I really want you to make a commitment to implementation, you guys. Again, if you're not gonna go back and implement what we just talked about, not just today, but really the whole time, then you're not gonna benefit yourself. We really need to commit to implementation. We need to implement the 4 S's, right? Those are the things that we talked about. your strategies, your structure, your systems, your solutions for your business. All these need to be implemented. So I want you to have this little parachute. So even if something does not go exactly like you want it to, you have a little parachute that's going to pick you up. So have no fear. Have no fear. Be courageous, and you're going to be able to reach a great height. So let's talk a little bit about implementation. How do we implement all this stuff? It's a lot. And I don't want you to feel overwhelmed either, because it really takes a year to implement everything we talked about. I just want you to know. As a matter of fact, that's why we restructured our membership program, because we used to just give everybody everything to implement right away, and it doesn't work. So we've done it in a way now where you can just implement a few things at a time and just go with the flow. And truly, we have people, they can probably hop on right now and tell me, Linda has been to Leap Ahead 3 times. 3 times. And they're still implementing. In her comment, what did she write in her comment?
She wrote.
She's like, I've been here 3 times and I'm still learning and implementing.
She did.
So
With this being our 3rd Leap Ahead, it's amazing to me how many additional perks and processes we were able to pick up and implement.
yeah.
Right here.
So there you go. There you go. So don't feel that everything is just going to happen with a snap of a finger. Where's my magic wand? There is no magic wand. It's going to take action. It's going to take planning. It's going to take implementing, training, coaching for all this to work. But at least I want to teach you the process of what is the best way to implement things. So I call it a brain dump. That's the first step. So what I want you to do is take a spiral notebook. I want you to take a fresh spiral notebook, not the one you've been taking notes from. But you do need the one that you've been taking notes from. And I want you to write down all the things that you want to change, all the things you want to improve. And don't worry about being organized. Just dump it all on a piece of paper. Just as the ideas come, sit down somewhere quiet, peaceful, maybe with some very mellow music in the background, classic preferably. And just sit down and write down, go through your Leap Ahead book and go through your notebooks that you've done. And I want you to just start writing down like crazy. Just dump everything out of your brain. That's the first step. And you're gonna be amazed of all the things that are gonna come out of your head onto that piece of paper. And don't try to do it typing. I really want you to write it down, because there is something. There is a mechanical process that goes from when your brain thinks of something to the time you write it down. You can go back and type it later, but I really want you to write it down in that spiral notebook. So dump it all, everything you want to improve and implement. So then what we're going to do, once you dump it all, that's when we want to start organizing it. Now, during the Leap Ahead, we covered a wide range of areas of your business. We covered marketing, sales, finance, team building, and guest experience. So I want you to take the brain dump and then start putting them into categories. Right? Simple. You're with me. Okay. Once we categorize them, then comes the next step, which is prioritizing. So we brain dumped, we did them by category, and now we're doing them by priority. So let me ask you this. Out of what you learn, what would you say would be an important priority? What would be the one thing, let's just talk about one thing, that would make a big difference in your business as far as revenue generation? What would be that one thing you would implement?
Teresa says website before you even finish talking.
Mm-hmm.
Website, YouTube.
Yeah. So that's your branding. Very good.
Angela, changing my membership format.
Yeah. But how can you make money? Because I want you to at least get your investment back right away, right? You guys paid. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but this seminar usually is $3,000 in person. So we gave you like a really good price to be doing it virtually. So I want you to get your investment back and way beyond that. So what would be the one system I taught you where you can actually start making more money tomorrow when you implement it? What do you think? Anybody?
They're saying lead in, memberships, register to win
Right.
gift cards.
So you can make money right away.
Pride.
Pride! Hallelujah! Who said that?
Mira.
All
and
right.
Lori Keaton.
Thank you, Mira. That's exactly what I want you to do. So even if your website sucks, even if your menu is no good, even if your place is not the best as far as the experience and all that, I don't care. Implement pride. When you implement pride, you're gonna start making money right away. And that's what I want you to do, because you know what? All that other stuff will come when you have money coming in. You need an influx of cash flow right now. That's what you should focus on. So upgrading more treatments, recommending retail products, and then the other system I would implement is the sacred system. So between the sacred system of these customized consultations and the pride system for follow-up visits, those two systems are your money-making systems. And that's where I would like for you to start. I want you to start making money. Once you make money, the rest is so easy. The rest is easy, because when you have money, you can remodel. When you have money, you can have a new website. When you have money, you can do another menu. Money solves a lot of your issues. You can expand, you can scale, you can do all these things. So that's where I would like you to start. So once you prioritize it, so I just gave you my prioritization, right? Sacred and pride, for sure, the first thing. And then you want to start doing your mind mapping. So once we have that central idea, we want to recommend pride and sacred, then we need to start the implementation. So we gave you a map, mind mapping map. It's on the page with today's information. I didn't print it in color, I actually printed it in black and white, but it looks like this. It's a mind mapping map. And what I want you to do, actually, let's see if I have it here. Yeah, so here it is. This is what it looks like. And you'll be able to actually get the idea of what I'm trying to do here with you. So I just gave you an example. So I did a general one. I did a leap ahead implementation. So what I did, when you're doing mind mapping, do we have some people that know what mind mapping is? If you don't use mind mapping, you really should. So you're gonna love this idea here. So you put a central idea in the middle of the page. I want to implement leap ahead content. Then from the central idea, you're gonna start doing chunks by themselves. Like you did the brain dump, you put them by category, and then you prioritize, right? So one of your category should be the guest relations department. All the things you want to improve for the guest relations. So you have guest relations here, and then you'll start writing down all the things that you would like to do for the guest relations department to improve their performance. So you just write it all down. Team development, sales model, operations, marketing, finance, whatever it is that you want to do from your brain dump, right? So once this would be like your main mind map. Then when you go to each one of these, I'm gonna take guest relations, I'm gonna put it in the middle of the page, and then I'm gonna start planning my guest relations. So let's just do this exercise real quick. We should have done a whiteboard here, but that's okay. So let's say I wanna improve my guest relations department. Help walk me through it. So those of you who are with us live, so let's say we're improving our guest relations. From what I taught you about guest relations, what would be some of the arms that we need to put here if this was guest relations? So what would be the first arm? What would be the second, the third? What are these things that we need to work on to improve the guest relations? So let's talk about it.
Welcome, Rachel. Oops, sorry.
Yeah, let's go a little more in depth first, but that's a good one. Yes, so what do we need to do? What's the first thing that you should do?
So some wrote phone. call scripts and call management.
Very good. Who was that?
We got several different ones. Brenda,
Okay.
Marie, Teresa.
Nice. Okay, so that's really where you should start with the training. So one of my things here is gonna be the training and how that's going to work. So I'm gonna give them the webinar. I'm gonna give them the manual. I'm gonna give them the scripts. I'm gonna role play with them. So that's going to be all under my training, right? So what else do I need? I need forms, right? So this would be my forms section. And in the forms, what forms do I need for my guest relations team? Anybody?
Intake.
Intake?
Sacred.
Sacred.
Yeah?
Profile.
Very good. So those are the forms that you need. You guys are getting this, so that's very smart. So now we have the training, we have the forms. What else do we need? How are we going to recognize them? How are we going to pay them? So pay structure would be another one, right? So this would be my pay structure. And then under pay structure, I'm gonna go, okay, I need to see what we have right now for targets, how much we want to grow by, how I'm going to compensate them, what kind of bonus are they gonna have for reaching certain targets, what are my KPIs. So all these things are gonna be under my compensation, right? So you get the idea. So you have your central point in the middle, and then you're just gonna branch out and think of all the things you need to do to make that happen. If you don't mind map it, guess what? It's not going to happen. If it's not clear, it's not gonna happen. But here's then what you need to do. Once you have your categories, then you as a leader or an entrepreneur or whatever role you have, you need to sit down and think, okay, well, who can do this? And by when? Who can do that? And by when? Because if we don't delegate, because there's no way you're gonna be able to do this all by yourself, I have news for you. It's not gonna happen. You need help, you need people. And the more help you have, the better off you're going to be, the quicker you're gonna be able to implement. But if we don't put a timeline on it, guess what? It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And that's why time blocking is so important. So I would go into my calendar, if I'm trying to do something here, I would go into my calendar and I say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to work on XYZ. And I would block the time in my calendar so I can start working on my implementation map. It really takes organized mind, because if it's clear in your mind, you know where you're trying to go, you're gonna be able to do the things that you need to do to get you there. And I have to tell you, implementation is key. And I have to say, there are some people that have come to leap ahead in the past. You know the good old 80-20 rule? We might have a little better percentage than that, but I have to tell you though, that 20% of the people will go and hit the ground running and start implementing like crazy, and they'll start seeing the results and they do great. And then you have some other people, which usually is the other 80%, and you can break them up a little bit more. And there are some that, you know, they all have good intentions, right? We all have good intentions, but then they don't really follow through and make the time to implement. And that's sad to me, because if I'm making an investment in something, I definitely want my return. And that's what implementation will do for you. It gives you that return that you need on your investment. And that's how you reach success the fastest way possible. You gotta make a commitment to implementation. You have to gain the team's buy-in. And everybody on the team needs to be working towards that goal. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna be better off, you're gonna be better off, and all your clients or your guests are gonna be better off. And everybody wins. And ideally, that's what we want. We want those win-win relations. right?
Yep.
So that's how we implement. Now, those of you who bought the VIP ticket, you have 3 coaching calls. So you better use those wisely and don't waste the time. So I would do my brain dump first, prioritize, do some mind mapping, and then when you get on the phone call, you should have a purpose. Help me implement this. How do I do that? So that way you're getting the most out of your private. Now, if you did not purchase a VIP ticket, you can always sign up for coaching calls to help you implement. And those of you who are members, of course, just go to the private member page and you can reserve your appointments from there to talk to someone to help you implement.
So Dr. Kassan is asking, on a day-to-day, how do you really allocate time to implement changes? Like,
How? You put them on the calendar. What do you mean
yeah,
how?
I think maybe she's asking, I don't really know how she's explaining to ask it. But I guess maybe deciding, does she do it in the morning, does she do it in the afternoon, middle day? Like, when's the best time for her to do that? She's also a provider.
I mean, it really depends on what you have going on. But if you plan your calendar, you can do it almost any time. It does not really matter. It depends on whether you're a morning person, you're an afternoon person. When are you most creative? I mean, that all takes into effect. I'm a morning person. I get up very early, and I have my best ideas because my subconscious mind is thinking in the nighttime. Subconscious mind does not rest, right? It's always going. And when I wake up in the morning, I wake up with some great ideas. So I like to take my morning, sit down, read, listen, and come up with ideas to implement. Now, when do I implement them? When I come into the office, I drive them crazy, tell them about all the different things that I'm thinking about. And, together we plan on when we're going to implement things, when we put it on the calendar, and then we do it. So it's all about planning and being organized. It really is.
And I think for them, it's very hard if you're seeing, clients throughout the day and then sitting at the end of the day and trying to
Well-
be energized and energetic about something new.
Yeah. But that's why we talked the
Right,
other
that's what I
day
said.
about chunking it up, remember? So it's all about that calendar, your calendar. And, I tell my team this all the time. If they want me to do something, they better put it on my calendar or it's not going to get done. It just isn't. It isn't.
So she's reiterating her question. She's asking, is it worthwhile that she shut her practice down for 5 days to run through this program?
Oh, that's definite. That's what a fresh start is. As a matter of fact, we have a program for that. It's called the Fresh Start, where we actually help you implement it. But yeah, I mean, that's what we did with Denise. That's what we did with Linda. That's what we did with all these people that are super successful. Absolutely. So it all depends on how fast you want to move. There's a lot of planning though before you actually do that. So I would not recommend you going close for 5 days now. So there's a lot of preliminary work that you need to do. Come up with all the things we want to implement, come up with the plan, and then you roll it out to the team. You train them, you coach them, you role play, you practice the new systems, and then you say, yes, we're ready to go. So yeah, and actually we have another program too that we have not talked about, and that is the High Achiever.
I was just going to bring that up, Jory. I actually had an email from a client this week who is toying with where to go and what to do next, and was looking for something that's going to offer her much more kind of hands-on hand-holding.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly where my brain came to. I
Yeah.
even have my High Achiever papers here. So
Yeah.
I'm going to leave that right to you to kind of
Yeah.
take it away.
So the High Achiever is really and the reason I came up with that is because I have a very dear client to my heart from Michigan. I love her like a sister.
She's on.
I was gonna keep it a secret, no, but she can come on if she wants. I love this woman. She has been a client of ours for so long, and I went on location this past January, and though she's been a member, she's like, no matter what she tried, her team just did not, drink that Kool-Aid like she did. So though she implemented many things, still there's so much more potential. I mean, she's already doing multiple 7 figures. She's very successful. She's got things going, but she could even be way beyond what she already accomplished. And when I was there, I'm like, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. And the more I thought about it, and the more I realized that there's a lot of people actually like her, because they do have the good intentions. They have a lot of things that they're doing on their own, but maybe the team is not listening, because when you're trying to teach your husband or wife to play golf, you don't want to listen to them, right? So you have that whole thing going on. So we decided to do the High Achiever program, where we actually help you implement all the systems that we teach. It's totally different than the regular mastermind membership. It's on our website. It's not. I haven't even done a landing page for it because we haven't really promoted it yet. So we need to do that landing page for it. But it's all based on implementation. So we assign you a business coach, and they work directly with you almost daily of all the things that you need to do to reach the results that you need to reach. Hey, Sue.
Hi. Hey, Dory.
How are you? My
I'm
friend.
good.
So how is Michigan doing?
Michigan's doing good right now, actually.
Good.
The virus is stable, and things are busy around here.
Yeah. Well, I have to brag about you a little bit. So during the coronavirus, Sue was on these calls every single day almost with us, and she did a promotion in the middle of the shutdown, and her and her team sold over $60,000 in prepaid Botox.
Yep.
You're my queen.
Actually, 77,000.
Oh, excuse me, it went up, 77,000.
It went up.
Thank you for correcting me. So anyway,
Yeah.
I was just telling everybody, actually I was not gonna,
Put your name out there.
put your name out there, but I'm glad that you unmuted yourself and tell everybody.
Yeah.
So tell people what your experience has been like with the High Achiever program, or what you actually you seeing the difference between being a regular member and then being the High Achiever.
Well, I have constant contact with Megan and Dory. Pretty much, I just with a phone call, I can get Dory on the phone. Now, I don't think anybody else can probably call and have that access to Dory so much, and Megan, and we're just trying to, we just started with what do we need most, and Megan's been doing a lot of training with the Zoom calls and things like that, all the ways we've had to change since COVID came along. We've got our budget almost done now. I mean, these are things that I've been coming for years, and I would get all excited and go back home, and then I would have nobody to help me. I would try, I'd get implemented. I was wearing too many hats, and luckily we have just found a fantastic person who has just turned our finances around. She understands all these systems, and I don't have those technical skills, but she does. So we're moving fast with it now. So we're very excited to see. I mean, when you put your books, for us, all we did was money came in and money went out, and there was no tracking or anything. But
and
now
lots
she's
of
got
money.
them in such a system that she says, hey, we're actually a profitable business. We are making money, and she comes to me now like every day, and it's constantly, updating me on everything, and it's been a great. But she has all of the programs to the High Achievers. She has those formats to follow. And so we were able to get all those formats through being a member, and then she's able to go in and find the numbers and plug them in, and that was the part I wasn't able to do.
Yeah, well, plus let's tell everybody, you are like the #1 injector queen in your area. So you're working, you're busting your
Yeah.
hiney. So you're trying to,
Yeah,
you know, the circles I was describing to everybody the other day. She's the entrepreneur, she's the leader, she's the manager, she's the provider. Though she has team members, and again, like I said, they have a successful business, they have unlimited potential of what they can really accomplish and do. I'm just so proud of you, Sue, and your team.
Oh,
And I love
thank
the
you.
fact that your team now is also being trained with Megan, myself, and other people, and we're really dedicating that time to improving their skills and truly implementing the systems.
right.
That's
And,
really, yeah.
And
Thank
now
you.
that we've had a couple of stalls first because of COVID, so we
Yep.
had to change the program, but we just switched to everything. And our next challenge is, now that we're not able to do open houses, our next challenge is how to do some type of a virtual open house.
Mhm.
So
We're,
it's
we're
just
working on
you
that.
know,
And on that one.
Yeah.
yeah.
We
With
are.
everything, trying to do the program and having all the changes at the same time, we never know what's going to happen from day to day.
That's true. That's true.
But
Well,
we're making very good progress. Very good progress.
extremely. I'm so proud. Congratulations.
Right.
Thank you for coming on, Sue. Appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. So, yeah, it takes a commitment, you guys. Again, like I said, everybody has good intentions, but we get so busy, we get so wrapped up with things that we want to do that you don't have the time. You don't even have the time to sit and really think sometimes because you're so busy. And that has to change, because if you don't make the time, then you're not gonna get it done. And especially when you are working as a provider, it makes it even that much more difficult. So keep that in mind. All right, so I'm going over a little bit, but that's okay. You guys mind?
Nope.
All right, so I gave you some tips for productivity as far as what you need to do, so follow them. My favorite one is the bottom one, to close your door. So if you're still operating under the open door policy, stop. Close your door. Because if you want to work on something, you want focus. You don't want to be distracted, interrupted. Anytime you get interrupted, you lose the momentum. Not good. So close your door and get some stuff done. Get some work done. Okay, so we talked about the business model that we're trying to implement, so everybody is clear with that. So I would want you to really print this and keep it out somewhere so you can keep reminding yourself of the model we're implementing. And then we went through all this, did you notice how I have pride first? So I have pride first for a reason. So make sure you implement pride. And then I have the guest relations, I'm sorry, the
Sacred.
consultation, the sacred system, which I told you was second. So pride is first thing you should implement. Sacred is the second thing you should implement. And then you can move on to the other things. Team building, we went over the Clarity hiring system, so you can hire the right team or assess your team and see where they are. We talked about, let me go back here. So the Clarity, we talked about the iCare coaching model and how to coach the team. We talked about the guest relations, how important that is with the 4 C's. We talked about the 6 R's. You definitely need to implement that. And then of course the VPG model, and then the budget. Those are all things that you really need to do. And then of course, the membership. The reason I have it a little further back is because you really should have some of these systems in place first, especially Pride and Sacred, and then you do your actual membership program. So don't try, nobody can eat the apple with one bite, right? You gotta take a few bites here and there and there. And then the one thing you should definitely implement right away is your daily success planning meeting. That's a no-brainer of no-brainers, so you should definitely implement that. So those are all the things that we discussed and all the systems. And basically I gave you the whole blueprint on how to run a business effectively. So now you have 2 choices. You can either listen and implement and do it, or you can go and try to reinvent the wheel and try to change things up because you think you know how to do it better. Now, so if you want to do that, do it at your own risk. If you want to follow what we've taught you because we know it works, then God bless. We welcome you. We want to help you. We will do anything we can to help you climb the highest ladder possible. That's really what we would love to do, help you. So I want you to have your freedom. Remember that slide where you were caged up? Well, you implement all the things we just talked about and you have your freedom. You can just actually escape. And I put this in here because we talked about the lion a couple of days ago, but we didn't have it in here. So I wanted you to get the URL. This is actually a video on YouTube that you can go watch that talks about the lion. And the one we were missing the other day was the fastest, I think, was cheetah. You guys didn't know the answer to
Yeah,
that.
we didn't know. You asked us, but we didn't know.
Oh, Craig
Craig
knew.
knew.
Cheetah, the fastest. All right, so what do we want to do to the competition?
Crush it.
Crush them! You should have no competition because you're going to do all these great things we talked about. Because when you do them, you crush them. So wake up and smell the coffee and start implementing. Now. Start now. Don't really delay. If you just start taking at least these little baby steps, it's going to happen for you.
So we have some people asking, could you explain to them the difference between an actual to-do list and a project list?
Okay. So the to-do list is something you can get done very quickly. Like you can just knock it out in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes at the most. A project list is like when you're trying to implement something big that needs planning and it's not going to be done in a few minutes. So let's say, for example, I want to come up with the copy system for my membership program. Well, that's not going to happen overnight.
Right.
So that's a project, right? So I need to get with my software company, make sure, first of all, I can track the membership. I have to make sure that I have the right program in place. I have the right pricing in place. How much of a discount am I going to give? Who's going to be selling it? What's the sales process like? How are we offering it? So there's so much that goes in it. That's a project. So you can take some of the projects and turn them into little baby to-do, but they're two different things.
So would you say a project more needs a mind map versus a to-do
Absolutely.
is something you can just get
Yeah.
up and actively do? Right?
Exactly. Yes, a project definitely needs a mind mapping process. Very good. And the reason you want to think about it that way too is because that way you don't get frustrated because you think that you need to do something and then you didn't do it and then you start dragging yourself down. But if you have a project and you know it's going to take you time and you have that timeline outlined, you're going to feel better about yourself. So what I would like you to do tonight while things are fresh in your mind is do that brain dump and really start on all the things that you want to do. And when you start thinking about them, they start percolating in your mind and you'll start getting the answers. Seriously. I mean, I talk about this book, Think and Grow Rich, all the time. It's because it gets you thinking in the proper principles. And, you know, once you figure out what is it that you want to do, and you have a plan in writing, and you have the mind mapping, and you have the systems, you know now what you need to do, how to do it. And it's just a matter now of taking the steps to actually accomplish it. And that's all I have, I think. So takeaways, questions, while you're doing that. So if you have some questions you want me to answer, go ahead and write them in. I do want to let you know about a certificate that we have for everybody. My team did these for you, and you are you can go to a page that they're gonna send you, and you're gonna look at your name, and you'll be able to click your name, and then you'll see the certificate. You can download it, get it printed, and frame it if you like, but it's yours to keep just to show that you finished the leap ahead. You are a graduate. I'm so proud of you. maybe you can take a selfie with it and post it for us. That would also be nice.
I could just see Dr. Green taking a selfie with his certificate since he was taking selfies with his
with
bear.
our bear. He loves our bears. Our bears have a new home. And then I want to remind everybody about the Become Published. So we are going to do that, as I mentioned a couple of days ago, virtually. I want only about like at the most 12 people. But you have to make a commitment to be online with me to actually do it. And then the other one we're gonna do coming up is the Millionaire Circle. So that seminar is ideal after you've already implemented some of the systems, because this is like a step above the leap ahead. So those of you who will be ready for that will probably launch that maybe middle of January somewhere. Depends if I want to work or not.
Like she's gonna give us some time off. So Dory, I just have to pop in. People are popping in saying, "Thank you so much, Dory. You're so smart, encouraging, and delightful."
Thank you.
I don't want this to end. This was so awesome, full of valuable information. Thank you so much.
Thank
They're
you.
all agreeing with each other. Dory's the best.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
They're asking, could we provide a LinkedIn quote that states the training completed and the systems learned? I don't, we'll have to check into that for you, Brenda, and see if there's a way we can mark that. I don't know. And Caroline Friedman said Dory's the best.
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
That's so sweet. So if you can share some of these comments online, yeah, we would love to hear from you. I mean, we're everywhere. We're not big tweeters, but we do LinkedIn, we do Facebook, Instagram. So feel free to share any of your happy thoughts and grateful thoughts online with us. We definitely appreciate it. And then the other thing we're working on actually is Google reviews. So if you could go on Google also and leave us reviews there. And those of you who have my book from Amazon that you purchased it, we would love it if you would also go and give us a review for my book online on Amazon or Google, either one. So that would be really wonderful. We appreciate that.
So many people are popping in right now, Dory, asking how can they stay in touch with fellow virtual Leap Ahead attendees, asking if we'll create a Facebook event where they can chat with each other, you know, a Facebook group event and share their success stories. Are we going to give them the attendees list like we've done in person? They've all been talking to each other.
Yeah, I mean, we
And they
can definitely send a list for people if you'd like to stay in touch. But the best way to really stay in touch is to be a mastermind member,
Right.
because then you're going to be rubbing elbows with right-minded people. And we have a Facebook group for that, for just the mastermind group. And they always share things on Facebook. But yeah, we could definitely send the list to people. And I also want to remind you that we are going to do the book gathering. If you don't have my book already, let us know. Or you can go to Amazon. We changed the price, didn't we?
We did.
We probably will go back to that. So we're going to sell it for only like $1 on Amazon. And the reason we do that, this is a lesson for you, by the way, so you can become, once you become published, you can do the same thing. You know, you can't leave reviews on Amazon unless you buy the book. So that's why we put it for $1, so you can go buy it. So then you can give us a review, or else we don't get reviews. So you gotta maneuver through all these silly rules to get what you want, right? So I want to leave you with one of the Irish blessings, and it says, "May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind always be at your back. May the sun shine warmly in your field," or on your face, I think it says, right? On your face. "And then the rain falls soft upon your field." Not nice? I love this statement. "Until we meet again, may God hold you in the palms of his hand." Very nice, isn't it? It really is. Well, it has been just an absolute pleasure being with all of you guys and having you join me live. And I know there's a lot of people. We had like 200 people in this event. Some of you were joining live, some of you were doing the on-demand because of the time issue. But either way, I'm so glad that you were part of this program. I definitely want to encourage you to do the things we talked about and start implementing. And I can't wait to start hearing all your success stories. I just can't. So that's what makes me happy. So I really want to wish you the best. I think you have something else.
I have just a couple things that people have sent in, some reviews. Just Tammy from here at Century Connection says, this is just what I needed to move forward in my business. I've not found such upfront information to set me on the path that I've wished for. I would like to see the people in this online conference get to know each other. This wouldn't be an issue if we were live, but we'd love to happen nonetheless.
That's very nice, yeah.
And then Tawny, who's one of our new Flying High members that actually did her testimony, said it was great all the way around. I'll attend every single year.
Thank you.
And Michelle Landry from the Aesthetic Boutique, the structured PowerPoints and lectures have been the most useful, most meaningful, and has been the inspiration provided, as has the inspiration provided by Dory and her team to dream big, to encourage, and to implement.
I just got goosebumps
I know.
again.
So,
You
and
guys.
they're popping in on the chat saying this has been amazing. We don't want it to end on and on and on. So it's super great. Thank you so much for taking this virtual.
My pleasure. Well, thank you, you guys. Again, we are here for you. If you need anything, let us know. I have a whole team of folks that are happy to help you. If you have more questions, you can always go to the networking lounge and chat with one of my team members. If you want any information on any of the programs that we have, we'll be happy to provide that for you. So with that, yes, one
And
more.
I'm gonna stay late to listen to accept video.
Oh yeah,
testimonials
so if
too.
anybody wants to stick around and do a video testimonial for us, we won't end the meeting, so just let us know or send a little chat, and we would love to have a video testimonial from you. So all right, so those of you who are gonna stick around, great, stay on. Those of you who are not, we wish you the very best. God bless, stay safe, and until next time, stay inspired. Bye now.